those same glory. But that's next week. Right now, the Aztecs have a Storm team in front of them who's undefeated in their house. Now the only question for us to answer, Tim, is which of these teams' winning streaks will come to an end tonight.
Both teams on 3-game winning streaks. Both teams stand at 3-1. There have been 15 championships handed out over the history of the SFL. These two franchises have 4 of them. Florida wearing the home blues, they will kick off. Mexico City playing on the roads in the white tops, they will receive. Ethan Sneed will kick. Jeffrey Daggs is ready to return. 2 of the all-time winningest franchises in league history do battle for the 11th time, and we are underway from Fort Lauderdale. Deep kick from Ethan Sneed. Jeffrey Daggs fields deep in his end zone. Jason Bartley, on the return, and that's where Mexico City will start off 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. The final 2 games of this Week 5 slate, Mexico City and Florida right now. Later on tonight, Portland against San Diego, a new rivalry out west, their first ever meeting. Matt Wilson, the Hall of Fame quarterback in his 11th season, all with these Mexico City Aztecs, starts under center, quick drop back, he's under pressure, and down he goes. Florida has struggled to get pressure on its opponents all season, Stephen, and they get a sack on their first play from scrimmage. Deontay White, the number 2 defensive tackle, makes the play.
Yeah, and this is a Storm team that has won championships based on their defensive line play, particularly from Alex Dominguez, or as we call him, Big Sexy.
Only 3 sacks all season through their first 4 games. They all came last week on 2nd down. Wilson over the middle. It's caught, and that's a great way to get back ahead of the sticks. K.L. Barrett, the number 1 Mexico City wide receiver, hauls it in for a gain of 11.
Yeah, and number 1 by a pretty wide margin. That's going to be his 37th reception on the season. The next closest receiver in this receiver core has 16 catches. Just tells you how much he's used in this offense.
Is absolutely Matt Wilson's favorite target this year. Do they go his way on 3rd down? He'll go to the top of the formation, and it's picked off. Another giveaway for Matt Wilson, his 12th interception of the season. He was looking for Jason Bartley, and it's taken away by Adam Jones, the second-year corner, as his first pick of the season.
Well, defense wins championships, and the Storm have won championships based on their defense. This is a Storm team that have a top 5 defense in total yards, allowing just over 320 yards a game to opposing offenses. That's 5th here in the SFL this season, but they've ranked him in the top 8 for the last 5 of the last 6 seasons. So this defense has been on point for a long time.
You say, Stephen, a historically great defense for Florida, and they're off to a great start here. Ron Cochran will now throw for the first time, and he links up over the middle for a gain of 10 for number 45 for the Storm. That is J.W. Doyle, their fullback, making the catch out of the side.
Yeah, and, traditionally the Storm have used their fullback as their main back, and they have a new rookie now, a new exciting rookie, which I'm sure we'll talk about. Not on the field right now, though.
J.W. Doyle moves back to fullback to pave the way for that new rookie, and he makes a catch here, and down goes Cochran. Mexico City gets a sack on its first possession. Dan Tretz, the rookie first-round pick, has his 9th sack of the season, most in the league.
Wow, I mean, and the guy's the sack leader of the league coming into the game. He had 8, gets his 9th. This guy has been tearing up the league as a rookie. Certainly, probably the favorite right now for Rookie of the Year. This guy has been amazing through now 5 games.
Unreal. 9 sacks and 12 tackles for loss through 4+ games. An unreal start. Play action from Cochran, floats it near side, a high arcing pass, but it's caught out of bounds by E.J. Minson, Florida's number 3 wide receiver. That brings up 3rd and long.
Wow, what a breakneck pace that we've had here, Tim. I mean,
Kidding.
And a challenge.
An early challenge from Florida. We said Minson makes the catch out of bounds, but Florida and their longtime head coach, Mighty Max Paul, has thrown out the red challenge flag. So a challenge on Florida's 3rd offensive play, Stephen. An interesting time for it. We'll see.
And an early challenge for the boys in the truck. Did we get a good shot here? I think he's in, Tim.
It sure looked like he dragged his left heel before the toes went out. Remember, you only need 1 foot inbounds for a catch here in the SFL. Max Paul clapping on the sidelines. I think we know what that means. Yes, the ruling on the field is overturned, and so E.J. Minson does indeed have a catch here on 2nd down.
Yeah, and then that just what it does, it just opens up the playbook here for the Florida Storm, giving them the option to go several different directions here on a manageable 3rd and 5, but an important one here early in the game.
Get a look at Ron Cochran, the 8th-year veteran from Yonkers, New York. He spent his entire career with the Storm. Again, they'll go on play action, and he'll float it near side, and throw drag swag down the sideline. It's hauled in by Stephen Bush for another first down.
And Bush, an absolute route running technician there, and felt his momentum going out of bounds, knew he needed to give his quarterback Cochran just a little bit more time to get the pass to him, able to make a nice stop and have a little toe drag swag there along the sidelines.
Ron Cochran is 2nd in the league in completions and 2nd in completion percentage through 4 weeks, and he's a perfect 3 of 3 to start this game. From inside the red zone, from the 2-back set, Cochran has all day, bullets it back of the end zone, batted again, and it could have been picked. A couple of different Aztec defenders had their hands on it. That is Jeffrey Daggs, their standout free safety in his 6th year with the team. He's the last one to touch it.
And you mentioned Cochran and his completion percentage nearing 79% going into this game, but his QBR of 83.9, the highest since the Storm moved to Florida back in season 14. So having a heck of a season.
And 8th best in the league through 4 games. 2nd and 10 from the 14-yard line. 3 receivers to the bottom, 1 to the top of the screen. Again, play action to Charlie Boletsky, and Cochran will toss it to the top of the formation to that solo wide receiver, and it's caught for a gain of 6 by Stephen Bush, who becomes Florida's #1 wide receiver this season. Stephen Mullinax, because of the departure of Optimus Klein, who had been on this team for its entire franchise existence. He moves out to San Diego to help form a new team, the Mavericks, who will take action later tonight. So Stephen Bush is his heir apparent, the new #1 wideout here for Florida. He's got 2 catches on their first drive tonight against Mexico City. 3rd and 4 now from the 8. 3 receivers to the top of the formation this time. Another pass for Cochran, looking near side, caught short of the goal line, but good enough for a first down for check it, that's Varadin Zarkov, their tight end. 1st and goal coming up.
Yeah, and that's not actually what the play is designed to do there. You saw the audible for the out there, just noticed the wide open space there to the right for the tight end to run that little short out, get the first down. Couldn't quite get the momentum to go into the end zone, but they'll take 1st and goal.
6 passes, no runs so far in this drive. Is this the time for the first carry of the game for Charlie Boletsky? It is. They'll give it to him, and he stood up a couple of yards short of the end zone. 3 different Aztecs defenders were there, spearheaded by middle linebacker KT Horrell.
Well, nice effort by the rookie running back there, but when you've got 3 Mexico City defenders in the backfield, it's going to be hard for even the most vetted veteran here in the SFL to make that play happen and get in the end zone.
Florida changes up the looks. 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and a tight end on 2nd and goal from the 2. First drive of the game for the Storm after the interception off the throw from Matt Wilson. Again, to give to Boletsky. He tries to spin outside, and he's got nowhere to go. Jack Napier, the corner, as well as Greg Gaines, the safety, a pair of defensive backs, make the play on 2nd down.
Yeah, and we're seeing this a lot more. You know, traditionally, we don't see a lot of running out of the shotgun formation here in the league, but we're seeing teams do it more and more often. But there, the Joker, Jack Napier, not fooled, able to get that for a loss.
Back-to-back runs for Boletsky for -2 yards. 3rd and goal now. Cochran, short drop. Plenty of traffic, throws. It's caught for a touchdown. E.J. Midson has his 2nd score of the season. Florida strikes first at home.
Wow, look at this absolute cannon of a throw here. I mean, Cochran throws an absolute rope right to the back of the end zone on the slant route, and the extension and the wherewithal to know where your feet are the entire time. Gets those little tippy toes in, touchdown.
2 guys that made the play on 2nd down, Greg Gaines, 23 in white, and Napier, 24 in white. They were the 2 guys around the target as Minson just split the 2 of them. Cochran bulleted it perfectly between the 2 defenders for 6. 6th touchdown pass of the season for Cochran. 2nd touchdown catch for Minson. PAT coming from Ethan Sneed, and he tacks it on. So the interception from Adam Jones, his 1st of the season. 10 plays, 38 yards later, Florida is in the end zone. They strike first. We mentioned, Stephen, this is the 11th all-time meeting between these 2 storied franchises who have won 4 of the SFL's first 15 championships. The all-time series is dead even, 5 wins apiece. The winner today moves into 1st place in the season in the franchise series, and will move into a tie for 3rd place in the SFL standings through 5 weeks. Another deep kick from Sneed, and Jason Bartley has no choice but to take a knee. So we'll see for the second time, this Mexico City offense spearheaded by Hall of Fame quarterback Matt Wilson. He's already been inducted because he's one of the best, most successful quarterbacks this league has ever seen. But to this point in the season, Steven, and that first drive is just another example. It's really not been a banner year for the 11th year veteran Matt Wilson.
Right. It's been, I think, his worst start of his 11th season career. I mean, career low 75.7 QBR. Those a little nice little swing route there, too. It looks like they're number 28, Ray Bentley, able to get that, but momentum takes him out of bounds. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Struggling just a little bit. But here's the thing, Tim, is that even though Wilson may not be having his traditional numbers that he's been posting, this team is still 3-1, and two of those wins came on the road. So if he starts to get his sea legs, you can imagine where this Aztecs team will go.
6th in the league in points per game and 2nd in the league in yards per game through 4 weeks, despite Wilson having a slow start. Wilson will bomb it here, and it's pulled out of the air. What a throw that time, just across midfield. Matt Wilson to Mike Daggs. These two have been doing it for a long time, Steven.
And they've been very successful at doing it. There, just the post route, just the big, awesome frame, 6'7", 265 of Mike Daggs. Hey, tight ends do matter, Mike. Nice catch there right in the middle of the field, but that's something that this Storm defense is going to have to key up on. If they let Mike Daggs loose, it's going to be trouble.
29-yard link up from Wilson to Daggs, the longtime friends and now longtime teammates here for the Aztecs. Wilson will bullet it over the middle again, and it's caught this time by Jason Bartley, who had just one catch over the Aztecs' first 4 games. He's been targeted twice. That time he pulls it in for a gain of 8.
Well, there's no defense for the perfect pass, and Wilson puts it right in the breadbasket. I mean, all he had to do is put his arms out and bring it in, and he did that. And, boy, Wilson really on point here after that initial interception.
2nd and 2, Mexico City will stack the box. Florida adds a couple of guys to the line. They'll give it to the fullback, Ray Bentley, and he barrels forward. Or check it is Phoenix Jones, who's coming in from the right side, the first running play of the day for Mexico City. So these two teams, Steven, they have the same approach. I mean, Florida comes out and throws on its first 6 offensive plays. Mexico City throws on its first 5. That's the first carry for Phoenix Jones, and he picks up 3 for a first down.
And they've got a great double-headed monster here with Mexico with Bentley and Jones, and these guys have been tearing it up.
Again from the split back set, Wilson bombs it deep down the left sideline. K.L. Barrett has a step behind the defense, and he's into the end zone. A touchdown, Aztecs. A 47-yard link up from Wilson to the killer, K.L. Barrett. Mexico City right back in it.
The Bronze Bomber delivering dimes with the amnesia, forgetting all about that interception. There on the fade route, just send your best receiver. Let him use that speed to burn all the defenders, get behind the secondary, and score that touchdown, potentially tying it up here with this extra point attempt.
Taylor Barrett just smoked Evan Carroll, who is one of the best cornerbacks in the SFL and one of the best in league history. They link up for a 39-yard pass touchdown, and now Cole Varner, one of the most successful kickers in league history. You'll hear that a lot tonight with these two teams, is on for the PAT, and he knocks it through. So we're all tied up at 7 apiece. That is a way for Matt Wilson to right the ship, Steven, after that early pick on his first possession. He bounces back in a big way, links up with 3 different receivers, big gain to Daggs, medium gain to Bartley, and then the killing blow to K.L. Barrett.
Well, 5 plays, 80 yards. I think we're seeing early on here, both of these offenses want to attack through the air, but you know that their bread and butter is on the ground often. As far as Florida is concerned, they've got an exciting rookie there in the backfield. And then for Mexico City, they got 2 great veterans, one of them in Phoenix Jones that we saw just a little bit of, who leads the SFL in rushing touchdowns. So we're going to see, I think, more of the rushing attack here as the game goes on. But early on, it's been all about the pass.
Florida will now possess the ball for the second time today, starting from the 25. We'll introduce you to the Florida offense as we go along, as we like to do here in the SFL. Give everybody their time in the sun as we play here in scenic Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Ron Cochran in his second possession will check it down to Charlie Boletsky. Spin move for the rookie tailback, and he picks up 3. Ron Cochran is the veteran quarterback, his 8th season in the SFL, all with the Storm franchise. There's a look at Charlie Boletsky. They call him the Bullet. The rookie 3rd-round running back, J.W. Doyle, is the fullback, was the running back for this team last year. 3 wide receivers, Stephen Bush, E.J. Minson, and Jeff Como. Vardan Zarkov is the tight end. The Offensive line is anchored by center Joseph Wade and tackle Greg McDonaldson. 2nd and 7. Cochran's pass is caught by Stephen Bush. His 3rd catch of the ball game already. Gain of 5.
Whenever you see two receivers in the same area like that, it's usually like a busted play. You don't want to focus the coverage in on that particular area. But where it can really help you is that one of those receivers can turn into an instant blocker if he can get out there in front of it. Didn't have the opportunity there, but could have happened.
Mentioned Cochran's 2nd in the league in completions, and he really spreads the wealth. 3rd and 1, he will throw it here. Steps up, fires, has a man wide open. It's Stephen Bush again. Spins around Han Tayumi and picks up the 1st down and a whole lot more.
Stephen Bush for a long time was known as a deep threat in this league, and you can see the respect on the field as the Aztec defense giving him a lot of cushion, way too much cushion there on that play.
Already the 4th catch of the game for Stephen Bush, who led the team with 30 catches, led the pass catchers, I should say, with 30 catches and just under 300 receiving yards coming into action today. E.J. Minson and Jeff Como each had 21 catches, and Zarkov, the tight end, had 11. So Cochran knows how to spread it out. Here goes Charlie Boletsky with his first carry that was not inside the 5-yard line, and he has very little to go. Skylar Kingsley, the 3rd-year defensive end, makes the stop.
Yeah, and the rookie there got caught behind his blocker. Really a little indecisive there. Needed to decide whether he was going to go inside or bust it outside. Chose the middle, ran into his own guy.
Charlie Boletsky has had a really solid start to his major league career, but the Storm really don't use him all that much. They will go to him on cue on back-to-back plays, and that is a nice bruising run. Powers up the middle and picks up 5. Brock Lee makes the tackle on him from behind, but kind of the counterpart to that fact about how much Cochran throws the ball. Stevens 2nd in the league in completions. Boletsky enters the game today with only 60 carries, 2nd fewest among all running backs. Only London's Robert Merrill had fewer heading into action here in week 5. Only 60 carries, an average of 18 and a quarter per game. Cochran throws the ball 41 times per game. He will throw it down this time. Boletsky makes the catch, spins around and picks up 5, enough for a 1st down.
Well, you mentioned his kind of minimal carries. Well, he also has 36 receptions coming in this game. So they like to, as they did just on that play, get him involved in the passing game. And, you know, for me, those short passes like that were the one we just saw, are as good or maybe even better than a run at times.
Averages about 24 total touches per game, to your point, even though he only has 18 carries. Cochran will toss it to him once again coming out of the backfield, and now Charlie Boletsky was kind of an afterthought on that first drive that Florida scored on. He has been everywhere on this drive. Tayumi on the stop, gain of 5.
Yeah, and we thought that they would, you know, both of these offenses would start to transition a little bit more to their stars there in the backfield. Certainly we're seeing here, although, you know, they're not running the ball as much as they're throwing it to here. Boletsky early.
4 carries, 3 receptions for Charlie Boletsky here in this first quarter as we play on. They'll give it to him again. Runs right into the defensive line of Brock Lee and Dexter Action Jackson. No gain.
Yeah, and then here's the reason why they may have elected to throw a little bit early when you've got the hosses that you have across the ball from you in this terrific defensive line. I mean, you've mentioned the names here, but yeah, the Aztecs doing a good job of bottling up the run at times.
3 starting defensive linemen have made plays. 5 straight plays have gone through Boletsky. Cochran will bomb it this time, and it's caught by Stephen Bush on a comeback route. No, check it. It's Jeff Como. He's got his first catch of the game, and it goes all the way for 6. What a time for Como to arrive. Florida back on top.
And you're talking about a guy who, for a long time in this league, has done exactly that. Makes big, spectacular plays when the team needs it. Here, he just out-athletics the defender. Jumps up, grabs the ball, avoids the tackle with ease, and like a la Lynn Swan back in the day, so graceful, like a swan, into the end zone.
And Stephen Bush ran a deep X route, and Bush lined up on the top, came inside. Como then crossed him up. Han Tayumi was left in the tracks, and Como took it 41 yards to the house. Back-to-back scoring drives for Florida, 3 straight scoring drives for these two teams. Over-under in this game set at 51.5, as you can see in the bottom right corner by the folks at Jack's Data, who do great work here in the SFL. And these two offenses can start to click like we know they can, Stephen, we very well may hit that over. Now 21 total points in this first quarter.
Tell you what, this game is living up to the billing. It deserves to be in prime time. Obviously, these two teams, well coached, well progressed, well practiced, have terrific rosters, have terrific owners, and we're seeing the best, the class of this league right now.
7 years in the league for Stephen Bush, 6 years in the league for Jeff Como, 8 years in the league for Ron Cochran. All that experience, all that dedication, all that progression, as you said, that really comes into play. That is how you get better in this league. It is tough to see, it is rare to see rookies come in and have standout performances. The veterans in this league, as you know better than me, Stephen, that is really where the meat of this league lies. It is imperative that you work on your player. You like to see in sports, you think that players will get better from year to year, but in the SFL, they do. It just happens naturally. That is part of the point of this league, and that's why Matt Wilson in his 11th season is one of the best quarterbacks in league history. He will check it down to Phoenix Jones and a gain of 2 through the air for the 3rd year back.
Well, and you want to know, why these teams are so good. You mentioned the importance of veterans. Well, these two quarterbacks are two of the best in the SFL. Just to listen to these numbers here. Matt Wilson, 6 of 7 so far in this game. Ron Cochran, he is 12 of 13. The definition of efficient.
Unbelievable. And of course, Wilson's only incompletion was the interception to Adam Jones. 2nd and 8 from the 22. Wide open over the middle. Wilson has another completion. Ryan Tobin makes the stop as Jason Bartley has his 2nd catch of the quarter. He only had 1 catch through his team's first 4 games.
Well, it helps when your offensive coordinator is able to scheme you open. Ramos Lind with the perfect play call here, the slant over the middle. Tim, I'm convinced they could put you on the
I would not want to see that happen. Matt Wilson has really spread the ball around a lot more in this game. Like we said, that is not something that Mexico City has done a lot of this year. KL Barrett dominates the target share, but Wilson has spread it around today. He will bullet it again. It's caught again for another gain of 6. Jason Bartley with his 2nd straight catch. Evan Carroll on the stop.
Evan Carroll, him and Alex Dominguez are the only remaining players on this team from the original start back in season 8.
Those 2 players have won 3 SFL championships. You're watching the Simulation Football League on For the Fans. On with 1 from the I in South Florida. Tim Hackett and Stephen Mullinax here in the booth. Happy to have you with us. Week 5 of 12 of this Simulation Football League season. Season 16 of this Story league, and these two teams playing right now are two of the best in league history. 2nd and 4, the give to Ray Bentley. The Hall of Famer plows up the middle and has a huge gain out across midfield to the Florida 46-yard line. Welcome back.
Well, the altered beast. Let me tell you what, he's been a monster in this league for a long time, and specifically for the Aztecs as their longtime starter, but took a step back this season, went to fullback to support Phoenix Jones. He told me it's Phoenix's time to rise, and he's willing to step back as a veteran, an 8-year veteran in this league, and let the 3-year vet get his touches.
Amazing how the roles have reversed. 2 years ago, Ray Bentley was the #1 running back. Jones was his fullback. This year, they've switched. They will go again on the ground. This time, it is Phoenix Jones. They run out of that modified formation quite a bit. They like to use the fullback, and that time they'll go to the tailback, Phoenix Jones, who is coming off of an absolutely killer game last week, Steven. We've talked about the passing attack from Matt Wilson, KL Barrett, and Mike Daggs a lot, but Phoenix Jones last week, probably the biggest reason why Mexico City survived a shootout with Sioux Falls, another one of the best franchises in league history that is off to a winless start, surprising everybody this year. Jones was fantastic last week. On 2nd down, they'll give it to Bentley, and a big gain for the fullback, Ray Bentley, all the way down to the 25.
Well, the difference between ordinary backs and great backs is being able to break that first tackle. And this absolutely just opens up big plays in this league. And here, Bentley, who's done this for a long time, shakes off the defender, nearly shakes off the second. Well, it actually does shake him off, excuse me. Gets plowed by the third, but it takes the entire defense to get on his back and ride him down.
15-yard rush, followed by a 17-yard rush for the fullback Ray Bentley, who entered the game with 31 carries, most among fullbacks. Fresh set of downs. Again, they will go on the ground, this time to Phoenix Jones, and Florida was ready for that one. Andrew Francis on the stop. The rest of the Mexico City offense looks like this. Matt Wilson, the quarterback, the 11th-year man from Rochester, New York. Phoenix Jones, the tailback, Ray Bentley, the fullback. Wide receivers, KL Barrett, Jason Bartley, Fox Highwind, and Nicholas Daggs. Mike Daggs is the tight end, and Cole Varner is the place kicker. 2nd and 8, just underway from the second quarter. A pair of 3-1 teams and two of the most successful franchises in SFL history face off for the 11th time. Bentley again on the give. This time it's a paltry gain of 6 after a pair of double-digit runs. Evan Carroll makes the play.
Well, there is no rust on Bentley tonight. We talked about him, this being his 8th season in the league and taking a little bit of a step back, but that rest seems to be doing wonders for him as he's running like a rookie out there right now.
Now over 100 yards on the ground, also most among fullbacks on the season. 32, Wilson to throw, over the middle, caught by Mike Daggs. These longtime teammates link up again. Eric Hammer, the middle linebacker, makes the play. First down, Mexico City.
Tim, how do you stop it? If you're an opposing defensive coordinator, how do you stop it? They have so many weapons. They've got Phoenix Jones, Ray Bentley in the backfield. We've seen KL Barrett already go for a long, deep bomb touchdown. And then you got to deal with Mike Daggs over the middle?
They just leave you guessing. There are so many players in this offense that can hurt you, as Florida already knows. First down, they'll give it to Bentley again. Tries for a stiff arm, but Florida was ready for that one. Alfredo Maisonette, one of the outside linebackers on the stop. And we've got an injury. Deontay White, we already saw him make a big play in the first quarter. He goes down. Ryan Davidson signaling to the trainers to come out. Let's see if we get a look at what happened.
I
Just
think
gets flushed down.
he trips over his own guy there a little bit too. I mean, maybe a lower leg injury there. Boy, we hope the best for him.
Kidding. So Charles Walker III will have to come in and play a little bit more on the defensive line. We mentioned it's kind of a thin position for Florida, even though, to your point in the first quarter, Stephen, the defensive line was the hallmark of Mighty Max Paul's teams when Florida was at its peak, winning 3 straight SFL championships. 2nd and 8. Wilson to the near side, caught for a touchdown. Fox Highwind has his first touchdown as a member of the Aztecs, and Mexico City's a point after away from another tie.
Well, we talked about an athletic play by Jeff Como on the other side of the ball. Well, here, look, check out this athletic play. Wow, to snatch the ball and to get it over the pylon in one move. Terrific move there by the second-year pro.
Thought for sure he was held short, but on that replay, you saw it from right on the goal line. He was able to hold out his arms stretch the ball out across the reach of Ryan Davidson and across the goal line for a score. Fox Highwind only had 1 catch last week, only 16 catches through his first 4 weeks, and the second-year wide receiver from Chattanooga has his first touchdown with his new team, spent his rookie season with the London Knights. Cole Varner, the longtime place kicker for this team, knocks through another PAT. We are going back and forth in this game. 4 straight scoring drives. That last one, 11 plays, 80 yards, capped off by that touchdown catch from Highwind.
Call all the friends, call the family. Let them know this SFL action is hot tonight.
These 2 quarterbacks have combined for 2 incompletions through a quarter and 3 minutes. Deep kickoff, no chance for Jeff Como to return it. Visit the all-new SFL League website at www.simulationfl.net for info on how to create a player, to join our community, the league, and all the teams that play in it. Also links to apparel, helmets, and a comprehensive history of the SFL. It's over 1,400 games, and it's thousands of players who have hit the virtual field. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. Ron Cochran has been putting it on the field for a long time in this SFL, his storied SFL career. I'll toss it to the near side. J.W. Doyle has the catch out of the backfield. He picks up 9. Cochran over 120 yards passing in this game, Stephen. He is now over 30,000 passing yards in his SFL career. He is just the 6th player in league history to hit that milestone.
Just another notch in his championship belt, right? I mean, this guy just is gathering all the records here, and just congratulations on the Iceman.
5 incompletions and attempts, top 6 in yards. They'll stretch it outside. Boletsky with a great run, a spin move from Boletsky, and he gets out to the 44-yard line. Best run of the day for the rookie. Skylar Kingsley puts an end to it, a gain of 15 yards.
Wow, what some great moves that were pieced together here by the rookie. The stiff arm, the spin, a little bit of everything, a little juke, a little jive. What else could you ask for on a run?
Let's introduce you now to the Mexico City defense. Usually the less heralded half of this team. The offense gets a lot of headlines because of all the great players that it has, but their defense no slouch either. All day for Cochran, wide open over the middle, and they've got J.W. Doyle on a corner route as the fullback for the second time. He picks up 13. The defensive line, Brock Lee and Skylar Kingsley, a pair of 3-year men on the outside, Dan Tritz on the inside. The linebackers, KT Horrell in the middle, Dexter Jackson and the rookie Ronnie Watson on the outside. 5 starters in the secondary, Jeffrey Daggs and Greg Gaines in the middle. Han Tayumi, Jack Napier, and Zarin Pryor are the corners. Another nice game through the air. It's J.W. Doyle, who has had 20 total touches over his first 4 games as he moves back to the fullback to pave the way for Charlie Boletsky. The exact same thing that Ray Bentley did for the other team. They'll go on the ground this time to Boletsky, and he picks up 4. KT Horrell makes the stop, and Deontay White will not return to this game, so that means a lot more Charles Walker on the Florida defensive fronts.
Well, offensive coordinators across the league are paying attention. Who says the fullback position is dead? Both of these teams are utilizing them to perfection.
It is rare in this league for a team to use a fullback as much as these two do. Risky throw from Cochran right into the hands of Zarin Pryor, and he cannot haul it in. It would have been his 2nd pick of the year.
Yeah, and now it's this, are we seeing these defenses clamp down? I mean, we've had 4 straight scoring drive. It looked like we were going to have our 5th there, but a nice stop to force this 3rd and 6 gives the Aztecs an opportunity here to kind of stop the bleeding.
Even though Cochran has all those great career marks like we've talked about and is off to a really good start this season, the interceptions have hurt him over his career. He's thrown 8 over his first 4 games, top 10 in the league. He will throw it here, 3rd and 6, wide open over the middle, caught. Jeff Como has his 2nd touchdown of the game. Florida bounces right back, and the Storm take the lead again, 39 yards.
Well, that's what you get when you have a veteran quarterback. They quickly forget those tips and interceptions and pass defense, and they're settled in. And this one here, Cochran, with ice water in his veins, delivers the perfect ball. Could have had either one of those receiver there, Bush or Como. Either one of them probably would have ended in the end zone. So something happening there in the Mexico City secondary that they have got to look at.
Smoked Jeffrey Daggs again, Steven. One of the best free safeties in this league. His 7th season overall, 6th with Mexico City. One of the league leaders in tackles. Just an overall ball hawk. Had a great game last week. Really good season so far. And he's been powerless against this Florida pass attack so far. PAT from Snead is good. And that's now 5 straight scoring drives across these two teams. There have been 35 combined points scored, and we've played a quarter and a half.
And a total of 3 missed passes between these two quarterbacks, one of them being an interception. So this has just been back and forth. If you love offense, you've got to love this game.
Absolutely. And these two offenses could not have started out any better. That one interception from Matt Wilson is the only blemish so far in this game. Short return here for Jason Bartley. And so Mexico City will now take back over, trailing once again. Every time the Aztecs strike, the Storm have had their response. But you could look at it the other way. Every time the Storm have found the end zone, Mexico City has retaliated right back on its next possession. Can they do it for a 3rd straight possession? So Matt Wilson, the 11th year man, already in the Hall of Fame. Like we said, the turnovers have hurt him this season. Mexico City only gave the ball away 21 times last year as he floats it over the middle, and it's knocked away incomplete. He was going for Shelby Calvi, their number 5 wide receiver. They have 4-star wide receivers, 5-star pass catchers. Calvi is not one of them, and he could not haul it in.
Yeah, I think he was just coming in to give one of those 4-star receivers a little bit of a rest there on first down. I often see that when you have wide receivers out there playing special teams. But, yeah, it still delivered a ball on point. Should have been caught.
Wide receiving core looks a little bit different for Mexico City than it did last year, a team that made the playoffs. They'll go on the ground to Ray Bentley. He has been big in this second quarter. He picks up 9.
And 49 yards on 5 carries. He has just been demolishing the middle of this typically really stout defensive line. And I think his offensive line has just been giving him giant lanes to run through.
5th in the league in yards allowed, 5th best the Florida defense through 4 weeks. Not today. On the ground they go. Phoenix Jones with a big hole. He picks up the first down and more. Maverick Hughes brings him down. Jones out to the 40 and another first down for the Aztecs.
Well, we've talked about how efficient Ron Cochran has been, but Matt Wilson. Well, both of these quarterbacks, in fact, have been, but we really both of these running backs have been running very well. Bentley averaging 9.8 yards a carry. Phoenix Jones 4.5. So they've got their running game going, and they've got their passing game going, and we're just seeing an explosion of offense for both of these teams.
After a decent year last year as the feature back for Jones, as Bentley has nowhere to go that time, runs right into Alex Dominguez. More on him as we go along. One of the best defensive players in SFL history. But Jones, after was named the feature back last year, taking over for Ray Bentley when he stepped away, had kind of a middle-of-the-pack season last year in his first year as the featured running back. This year, he has been great. 4th in the league in total rushing yards and in yards per carry. Good start for him here. Wilson floats it over the middle, and it's pulled out of the air by K.L. Barrett. What a grab. Around 3 defenders.
Well, all this guy does is make big plays, Tim. I mean, look here, he's got 3 defenders, 4, 5, 6 defenders in the air. He's able to pluck it out of the air, concentrate. Know he's going to get hit from 2 sides, get sandwiched, able to hold on to the ball. Just what a luxury it is to have a guy like K.L. Barrett on top of all the other superstars that you have on offense.
Is a target magnet this year. 36 receptions coming into today, more than all of those other 4 pass catchers combined. Over the middle, Wilson's pass is tipped away. Nice coverage that time by number 48, Adam Jones. Already has a pick on this game. Looking for Barrett again, swatted away.
So one of the benefits of having a 6'1" cornerback there, able to make those kind of plays through the air. Got that wide wingspan to tip balls and pass deflect. But are we going to see now these defenses start to tighten up a little bit, start to figure out what these offenses are doing?
No, this Florida secondary is experienced, probably the most veteran secondary in the league. Wilson throws near side, caught, and another nice gain through the air and a pickup of 8 for Fox Highwind, who has his second grab.
Boy, I like this kid, Fox Highwind. I mean, look, when you have all of these stars that the defense has to pay attention to, often guys like Foxwind are going to find favorable matchups and coverage. and got to, though you might have limited opportunities, you got to make the most of them. So far, he has.
Big absence for Richard Montague, the longtime Aztec wide receiver, retired in the offseason. Hole open for Fox Highway. And now a hole opens on this play for Phoenix Jones. They run it on 3rd and 2. Jones picks up 3. Another first down for Mexico City. Maverick Hughes on the tackle.
Well, the offensive line absolutely blew that thing up. You saw half the team running down the field. That's how much they blew that up for the first down. And I'm surprised it didn't get more yardage than it did.
22 yards on 5 carries so far in this game for Phoenix Jones, coming off of a game in which he totaled more than 200 total yards. Wilson under pressure, down he goes. This Florida defense gets to him again. Remember, only 3 sacks in their first 4 weeks, all of them coming last week. They've got their second today. Deontay Stoneville, in his first year as a defensive lineman, takes down the Hall of Famer.
Yeah, and this has been a dominant defense for such a long time. We're used to seeing that, not used to seeing all these points being put up here early on this defense, but you're starting to get a sense now. The defense is starting to come alive.
If this defensive line can get it together, watch out for Florida down the stretch this season. Wilson will throw it short. Barrett has the catch and a gain of 5, ushered out of bounds by Hughes.
So an opportunity here right on the edge of field goal range. Of course, the Aztecs have one of the best kickers in SFL history here in Cole Varner. In fact, Varner went 4 straight seasons without a field goal miss.
Better than 90% success rate in his SFL career over 7 years. That is hard to do. 3rd and 10. Wilson's pass is caught. Rolling on the ground short of the sticks is Nicholas Daggs, just his 3rd catch of the season. It was a nice link up, but the pass from Wilson a little bit offline. We've reached the 2-minute warning in the first half. Mexico City in field goal range. You're watching the Simulation Football League on For the Fans. Minutes left to play in the first half from Fort Lauderdale. Alongside Stephen Mullinax, I'm Tim Hackett. Phil Koss and Delaney Nash helping us out in the stat truck. So Cole Varner, the 7th-year man from Andalusia, Alabama, one of the most successful place kickers in SFL history, is on to try one from about 46 yards. We've had touchdowns on our last 5 combined drives in this game, and Cole Varner knocks it through from 45, his 6th made field goal of the season. 6 straight scoring drives across this first and second quarter in this game tonight.
Yeah, has the leg and the compass there right down the middle. That's actually his longest field goal this season. Previous long was 42, but yeah, this is a guy who can regularly kick it from 50. An effective weapon here. But the first time that we haven't seen these two teams not get in the end zone in quite some time.
First drive for Mexico City resulted in an interception. Then the next 5 resulted in touchdowns, and that one results in a field goal. Coming up on the SFL halftime report, Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green analyze the first half, provide updates on Portland and San Diego, and they'll recap earlier action from around the league. It's all coming up on the SFL halftime report. We're just underway from San Diego in the final game of SFL's Week 5. Jack Brown and Wade Phillips on the call for that one. A new budding rivalry between the Portland Fleet and the San Diego Mavericks. Freshman team and a sophomore team. 1:53 left in the first half. Cochran bullets it near side, and it's caught on the sideline somehow by Stephen Bush, who makes his 5th catch of the first half.
Yeah, Tim, I was going to mention here with a minute 52, we still have time for 2 or 3 more touchdowns. So let's see what happens here.
I usually like to ask you, like, how aggressive do you get with this limited time? But this is, for a guy like Ron Cochran, a true gunslinger with all of these weapons and how successful they've been today. I mean, you're right. Both teams might have 1 or 2 more possessions before the end of the first half. 3 timeouts for Florida now south of the 2-minute warning. On the ground they go. Charlie Boletsky with a spin move, and he picks up 7.
And why not, Tim? Look, Ron Cochran already here in the first half, 16 of 18, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. A couple of those going to Jeff Como on some long passes. Perfect situation here to get you another one, Como.
In this first half, the 2 quarterbacks have combined for 5 touchdown passes and 5 incompletions. That is unbelievable. It's 1st and 10. Cochran pump fake under pressure. Down he goes. He gets obliterated by Brock Lee. 2nd sack of the game for Mexico City.
Well, Brock Lee will get the sack there, but it was really the coverage. As we saw, Cochran wanted to go to receiver, thought better of it, brought it back in, and that gave Lee time to get to the quarterback.
Mentioned the Florida defensive line had struggled to get pressure, but their offensive line has been one of the best. They only allowed 3 sacks through their first 4 games. 2 allowed in this first half. Play action. Now Cochran will dump it down to Charlie Boletsky, and he's blown up. One-on-one tackle by Zarin Pryor.
And now here, really, for maybe the first time in this game, the first time I can remember anything longer than 3rd and 10 for either one of these offenses, but a 3rd and 16 here. Certainly know that Cochran has the cannon to complete this, and they've got the plays in the playbook to hit something deep.
3rd down success has been a hallmark of the Florida franchise in their entire career. It would seem. And now Cochran on 3rd and 15 gets 14. EJ Minson is wrapped up a yard short of the line to gain. A great tackle at the last moment by Jack Napier.
Yeah, the Joker, actually, what a great play defensively. Hit him right on the line. Might have been close enough to try, but why? Because at the end of the second quarter. No reason.
That's going to do it for the first half. Marcus Agrippa won't even get to make his debut in this game. 5 straight touchdown drives, 6 straight scoring drives, and Florida leads 21-17. We'll take a break and we'll send it to the SFL studios for the halftime show. That's next. You're watching the Simulation Football League on For the Fans.
And welcome to the SFL's halftime show, along with Mike St. Green. I'm Cameron Irvine, and a nice first half there from Florida, 21-17. The Storm lead the Mexico City Aztecs here on FTF's coverage of the SFL. Mike, what'd you see out of that first half after the Adam Jones interception there from Florida, because the game kind of turned after that?
Yeah, we were talking, off air. Is this good defense or, bad defense or good offense? I think we're really just seeing two great offensive teams here. And as you mentioned, after the Adam Jones interception on that first possession, I also had a sack on that first possession as well on the floor for the Florida defense. And then Mexico City, kind of righted the ship a little bit after, Florida went up and they kind of went back and forth. I really like what Mexico City's doing on offense. Well, actually, both teams, but Mexico City in particular, mixing things up as I kind of expected in the pregame. But they're getting Ray Bentley involved, the fullback. Has about 50 yards rushing right now, and kind of keeping Florida off balance. Right now, the game's pretty even. Aside from the field goal from Varner there at the end, pretty even game so far.
Yeah, the defensive backs are letting them down. Jeffrey Daggs and Han Tayumi both whiffed on coverage and gave up 14 points there. I can't remember the last time I saw a Mexico City half that featured two blown coverages, so they're going to have to clean things up on the back end. In San Diego right now, live coverage going on the SFL's Twitch channel. San Diego leads Portland 3-0. There have been more sacks in this first half than points, Mike, and as maybe expected, the offenses are sputtering as they have the first 4 weeks of the season. I think the over-under over there is 41.5.
Yeah, that may be high for both of those, teams combined. We're talking about a team in Portland. I think only has one touchdown pass thus far this season. And then we have San Diego coming in, and I think with only 2 touchdowns total coming into this game. So two struggling offenses coming in. San Diego's up after a big catch by Shea Carroll in that game, Nico Cappuccino field goal. But man, what can you say? Somebody has to get something going over there to come out with a win.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been tough sledding for both teams so far this season, but somebody's got to win that ball game. So we'll see who it is later on tonight. Well, if you're a fan of the Simulation Football League, you missed some amazing action from the early window. Let's start in Charleston in the divisional game. It was a field goal fest early, but the fireworks came late. You thought Carolina was going to win. You thought Charleston was going to win. And then the Carolina Skyhawks, my goodness, 3-2. One of their losses way back in week 1. That seems insignificant right now. And the other loss, a 3-point loss to these Florida Storm that are up on Mexico City by 4. This team is surprising a lot of people right now.
Yeah, this is not your granddad's Carolina Skyhawks. These guys are impressive thus far this season. I mean, they've been competitive. Like you said, most games maybe outside of the first week, but they've been right there. And, the past few seasons, everybody, have been predicting playoffs for Carolina. Hey, maybe this is the year for them.
They win that game 32-30 on the road behind 6 field goals from Whistle Jones and a couple of big touchdowns, including one to Heath McDaniel Jr. late. Denver almost got upset on the road in Louisiana, but the Revolution didn't have enough offense at the end of the day, 27-20. They pick off Josh Miller twice, did Louisiana. They held McChesney to either under or around 100 yards, and they still didn't win the game, which has to be pretty disappointing for them. They're now 1-4.
Yeah, Louisiana, they, take pride in wanting to defend that home field down there in the Bayou, and they have struggled mightily coming out of the gate. Streeter had a decent game with, over 100 yards, and but Johnny Pickle is still struggling with the turnover ball. He's going to have to get that straightened out if Louisiana is going to start getting in this win column. But, it's Denver. Denver basically have been the best team in the league the past 2 seasons, even though they didn't get the championship last season. They were the top team going into the playoffs last year, and they're just continuing that role right now.
Couple blowouts in the second block of the day. Baltimore smashes Queen City, and Lone Star takes care of London. Of the four teams playing, Mike, what was the team that stuck out to you of that block, win or lose?
I think Lone Star. They have really, put things together the past 2 weeks. A big win at home against Jacksonville last week, where the defense played really well, held Jacksonville to 5 field goals in that game. And you look at this defense today against London, five sacks from between Jukin Rukin and Hugo Reynosa, and they also had a late sack from Yogi Barr in that game. So the defense has played really well the past 2 weeks. And then when the defense plays well, Lone Star can do the things that they like to do with the power running game with Ike McBride and get her involved and Cam Collier out of the backfield to get those people involved. And they just need 1 or 2 big plays here or there. And that's basically how they pull this game out.
Yeah, I agree. Another team in particular that kind of caught my eye was we've talked a lot this season about Sioux Falls being 0-5, Louisiana being 1-4. How about Queen City 1-4? I don't think the Corsairs, who have won more titles than any other SFL team in league history, I don't think I remember them ever being 1-4. They are really struggling, and Baltimore carved them up in the passing game today, and they didn't have an answer. So far, the defenses in the Mexico City, Florida game do not have an answer. 21-17. Florida leads Mexico City at the half. We'll get you back out to Tim Hackett, Stephen Hacker, Delaney Nash, Stephen Mullinex back out in at the I in Fort Lauderdale after this. This has been the SFL Halftime Report.
Two of the most storied franchises in Simulation Football League all-time Simulation Football League history. It has been a fun game so far, a frazzling game for defenses and for me, apparently, as we get underway here in the second half. 5 straight touchdown drives for these two teams, 6 straight scoring drives overall after an interception thrown by Mexico City quarterback Matt Wilson on his first possession. These two offenses have been cooking. These two defenses have had little answer. Welcome back to the Eye in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, along with my partner Stephen Molinax and our statisticians Phil Koss and Delaney Nash with Cameron Irvine, our producer. I'm Tim Hackett. Happy to have you with us. Week 5 of 12 of this Simulation Football League season. Ron Cochran and the Florida Storm will start with the ball and a 4-point lead. Cochran's pass is tipped away, going for Stephen Bush on an out route, and Ronnie Watson, the rookie linebacker, makes the play.
A nice athletic play by Watson there, and only Cochran's third missed pass attempt. That tells you how efficient he's been in this game. 18 of 21, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 200 yards passing there in that first half. Just an epic cavalcade of scores here, and let's see if these defenses learn something in the locker room at halftime.
On the 2-back set, Cochran will give to Bullet Boletsky, breaks out of the first hit. Dexter Jackson wraps him up for a gain of 3. If you're just joining us, these two quarterbacks have now combined for 5 touchdown passes and 6 interceptions. Both QBs with completion percentages of better than 80, quarterback ratings of better than 115. It has been a passing clinic for two of the best quarterbacks in league history. 3rd and 7 for Cochran. His pass over the middle, swatted away by KT Horrell, and a 3rd down failed conversion for Florida. That is not something that we've seen often from these two teams. They were both nearly perfect in that regard in the first half. The Mexico City defense makes a big stop.
Yeah, and KT Horrell there does a good athletic job to get in the way of the ball, but going for the defender going for the ball as well as the receiver, the tight end, they actually ran into each other, and Horrell able to block out like a basketball player, block out for the rebound, block out there for the pass defense.
Like to call her the matriarch. Marcus Agrippa will make his first punt of the game, and it is a beauty. What a kick, pinning Jason Bartley inside his own 20. He gets just a couple of yards on the return. He was 9th in the league in punt return average at around 4 yards per return. One of the best punt returners in the league, but you just got a first-hand look at the best punter in the SFL, Marcus Agrippa, in his 3rd season in Mighty Max Paul's employ. Most teams in this league do not utilize punters. Florida does, and Marcus Agrippa is the reason why a punter could be a valuable asset. Mexico City with the ball for the first time. Matt Wilson will toss it down to Phoenix Jones, coming off of one of the best games of his career, and a nice pickup through the air for Phoenix Jones. Blows up Eric Hammer and picks up 12.
Well, you don't think necessarily about Phoenix Jones. You think, you don't think of him as being a power back, more of a finesse kind of guy. But look at this, absolute dynamite behind the pants, pads. Excuse me. Good night, Tim. What have you given me? I feel like I think this game has got us stifled, sir.
There's something in the air here in this storm tonight. I don't know what to tell you. Gain of 12 through the air for Phoenix Jones, who has over 600 all-purpose yards so far this season. Wilson into a tight window, has it complete for a gain of 3. Fox Highwind makes his 3rd catch of the game, had just 1 catch for 21 yards last week as Mexico City somehow outlasted Sioux Falls 41-38. He's got 3 catches today. Both of these teams on 3-game winning streaks, but Mexico City won both of their last 2 games by 3 points each. So it has not been a sure thing for the Aztecs this season. Wilson to the near side this time. KL Barrett is wide open.
Well, that has been a sure thing in this game. The connection between Wilson and Barrett, and there on the deep out again. We've seen Barrett score on a deep touchdown pass. So this defense, this secondary is playing back off Barrett, giving him a lot of respect, and that's opening up now things in those little short to medium outs so you can convert the first down like that.
The best wide receivers in the league, 6th in catches, 6th in touchdowns, 3rd in receiving yards entering action this week. Bentley on the give, lowers the shoulder and picks up 9.
Well, Bentley is looking for contact out there. He is searching the middle of the field. The problem is his offensive line is blocking so well for him that he's good 5-6 yards down the field before he's even getting contacted. And the force is strong with that one.
The way that Marcus Agrippa punt went for 53 yards, but just a couple of plays later, the Aztecs already in plus territory. They'll give it to Phoenix Jones, and he's able to lunge forward and pick up the first down. Alessandro Tomaello makes the stop. There are lots of guys on this Florida team that are from the state of Florida, Stephen. That is part of the reason why Mighty Max Paul relocated the team from Alaska to Florida prior to last season, because so many of these guys are from the state of Florida. Alessandro Tomaello is from Venice, but not Venice, Florida, Venice, Italy. I call him Il Veneziano. He makes the tackle there, but Jones still picks up the first down. On first down, Wilson again links up over the middle, and another first down, a pickup of 11 for Jason Bartley, and I think that play has worked every single time.
Yeah, and you know what it does? It negates the pass rush of Alaska. We've seen Alaska few and far between. They've been able to break through here and get to Wilson. But if you can put plays in the playbook like that and complete them as quick as they did there, the real quick release there by Wilson, the defensive line doesn't have a chance.
The 36, top of the screen, it's caught by Highwind. Mexico City continuing to spread the wealth, and Highwind picks up 9. I mean, Jason Bartley was really kind of an afterthought last year as the number 3 wide receiver with K.L. Barrett and Richard Montague, who played together for 8 seasons with the Hall of Famer Matt Wilson. So Montague retires. They elevate Nicholas Daggs, Mike's other son, from the practice squad to the active roster, if you will. So now they have 3 new wide receivers to join Barrett and Mike Daggs, the standout tight end. Highwind getting involved here, the offseason acquisition. Again, they'll give it to Jones, and again, he powers up the middle and picks up 5. Charles Walker, the third on the stop. Deontay White, one of the other defensive linemen, was injured in the first half. He is not going to return, so a blow to this Florida defensive line.
Well, this Aztec entire team is really the definition of being unselfish. We saw that with the return of Bentley, willing to go to fullback instead of halfback to give Phoenix Jones his shot.
And so they will go to Ray Bentley, and he runs right into Alex Dominguez. Deontay Stoneville was there as well, but Alex Dominguez, one of the best defensive players, regardless of position in SFL history. Big number 69 in the white and blue. He's been a defensive end for his entire career, moved to defensive tackle this offseason. Raymond Jones left to join the Los Angeles Lycans, so there was a vacancy. Dominguez fills it. Deontay Stoneville takes his place on the defensive end. No gain on the ground at that time for Bentley. One of the only times that's happened. Wilson is hit as he throws, loses the ball. They'll say he was throwing it forward. And there's Charles Walker III, who's only playing because of the injury to Deontay White. He makes his second play on this drive.
Well, Walker and Dominguez there in the backfield. You talked about Dominguez. He's actually the SFL's all-time sack leader, 162 sacks. Who's the next closest to him? Only has 93. That tells you how far and how dominant Dominguez has been in this league.
He has been amazing. Last year was kind of a slow season for him, and only 1 sack for him this year. Third down over the middle. Wilson floats it, caught again for a first down. Again, that play works, Stephen. Pickup of 10 through the air for Jason Bartley.
Yeah, and if you're the Lone Star Glory and you're scouting this game for their home game next week against these Aztecs teams, you're watching that play because, as you mentioned, every single time they've run it, he's been wide open, and Wilson has been absolutely on point.
Ramos Lynn is one of the all-time great coaches in this league. The same can be said for his counterpart today, Mighty Max, for sure, but Ramos has changed something in the game plan from last week to this week. From inside the red zone, top of the screen, it's caught by K.L. Barrett, who is shimmying down the right sideline, and he picks up 6. We usually see him on the left side of the offense. That time he moves to the right, and it works for 6.
Well, you would think as a defensive coordinator on first down and this close to the goal line, you'd want to run Phoenix Jones or Ray Bentley. So what do you do on first down if you're the Aztecs and trying to switch it up? You run that little short out to your best wide receiver. He gets you 6 yards, makes it a 2nd and 4.
6 catches for 83 yards unofficially in this game for K.L. Barrett. From the 7, they give to the up back. Ray Bentley lowers the shoulder, charges forward, picks up the first down, and a gain of 5. Ryan Tobin, the veteran safety, on the stop. 1st and goal coming up.
Man, on this drive and in this game, we've seen some powerful running from the combination of Phoenix Jones and Ray Bentley. This defense needs to get hazard pay, some of the hits they're taking out there.
What does Mexico City do from here? Trailing by 4. Their first possession of the second half. From the 2-back set, they'll pack it in. They'll go up the middle, and Bentley is stopped that time by Eric Hammer. No, it is Phoenix Jones. They run them both from that formation, and Eric Hammer, the middle linebacker, makes the play.
Yeah, and I would just keep doing that. If I'm Mexico City, you've got this 2-headed monster. And look, we can see that the Florida Storm are piled in there on the goal line, thinking that same thing.
Run it again on 2nd and goal, and again the Storm are ready. On the ground they go to Phoenix Jones, and that time it's Jimmy Menjivar, one of the backup linebackers, who makes the stop.
How huge would this be for Florida here if they were able to hold Mexico to a field goal? They could still retain the lead by 1 if he made it. So, yeah, this is big right here.
Mexico City has come up empty on its last couple of drives, had to settle for a field goal last time. Now 3rd and goal from the 3. Wilson will throw, under pressure, hit, lofts it, back of the end zone, it's caught! Touchdown, Derek Noger, the backup tight end, gets in the end zone. Matt Wilson can do no wrong today. Mexico City takes the lead for the first time.
Wow, a little bit of a duck right there, quack, quack, but it still had the finesse to get into the receiver hands over, dropping it over the defender. I mean, it didn't look pretty, but it worked, and it's effective, and everything seems to be working on all cylinders for both of these offenses right now.
What did we talk about? There were so many different weapons for this Mexico City offense. You don't know where they're going to go. Mike Daggs, Nicholas Daggs, KL Barrett, maybe Fox Highwind. Maybe they'll go to Phoenix Jones. They say no. Instead, we're going to go to Derek Noger. And that is a heck of a way for Matt Wilson to pick up his 9th touchdown pass of the season. 16 plays, 82 yards, and capped off by that 3-yard pass touchdown from Matt Wilson. Our thanks to Delaney Nash for running the stats for us tonight. So Mexico City takes the lead for the first time. Florida cannot score on its first possession of the half. Remember that 53-yard punt from Marcus Agrippa did not matter. Mexico City methodically marching down the field. Florida will try to respond. But first, we've got our first game break of the night. Let's send it back to SFL headquarters. Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green, what you got?
Thanks, Tim. Portland off to a slow start, but they're really getting it going now, Mike.
Yeah, Cam, just when we thought these offenses wouldn't show up, Matt South hits Gene Valentine on a slant route there. Portland goes up 7-3, and they answer with another touchdown pass from Matt South, and they're actually up 14-3 as we speak.
Just scored again. Fleet up 11 on the road.
Cam, Mike, thanks so much. Stephen, I thought Valentine's Day was last week, but Gene Valentine is into the end zone this time for Portland, and their offense has run aground recently. They're trying to get on track against the San Diego Mavericks, the first ever meeting between those two teams. You can catch that game on the SFL's Twitch page, twitch.tv/SimulationFL to catch that game with Jack Brown and Wade Phillips. Right here from the eye, it's actually a 10-point game. My apologies, with an extra point blocked. It's 13-3. On the ground they go. Charlie Boletsky has his best run of the day. Breaks off of a tackle. He's still going. Charlie Boletsky to the house. 73 yards. Florida takes the lead right back.
Is there any wonder why Florida is so excited about this rookie? 3rd round, first pick. They're in the 3rd round by the Florida Storm. But here, let's just take a look here. Able to go through the traffic there, find his way through the trash. Look at the Jets to separate and the power to break through the tackle. Boy, we've seen so much through the air. Now, a breakthrough on the ground.
When you thought Mexico City might be able to try to take control of this game, they go on the ground to Charlie Boletsky. He more than doubles his yardage total from the game, more than triples his yardage total on the game with that 73-yard touchdown run. He's now over the century mark on the game with that one run alone. Florida takes the lead. Ethan Snead on for the PAT. And just like that, the Storm are back on top by 4. Back and forth we go. And we've hit the over, and we just started playing the 3rd quarter.
Well, we talked about it there during the break. This is a roller coaster. At some point, me and you just need to throw our hands up and just enjoy the ride, because this has just been back and forth. And, you know, if you love offensive football, this is an ideal game for you right here, as they are just counter punching and punching each other. And it's just wonderful to see.
We've seen a little bit of everything in this game, and we weren't sure what kind of game we would see between these two teams, as Jason Bartley has to take a knee. I mean, coming into the game, Mexico City was 6th in the league in points per game. Florida was just 15th, but defensively, Florida was 8th in the league in points allowed. So it kind of, these two teams have kind of fit the bill over their last historical last couple of seasons. Mexico City's offense has been really good. Their defense has been lacking relative to the offense. The Florida defense has generally been very good. Their offense has been lacking relative to the offense. So we didn't know which kind of game we would see. So far, we've seen an absolute barn burner, one of the best games of the year. And Florida, again, has no answer for that play. Wilson over the middle to Jason Bartley, 6 catches for 55 yards, and all of them have come on plays like that.
Well, the last time these two teams met back in season 14, Mexico City at home won 24-16, and a far different outcome here with the quarterbacks. With Cochran completed just 29 of 36, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Wilson, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, completing all but 5 of his passes. So we're seeing just a stark difference here in these two teams.
Has been a quarterback clinic today for sure. Second and short, they will give it to Phoenix Jones. He rumbles up the middle, picks up a couple. Andrew Francis on the stop. Deontay Stoneville was there as well.
Yeah, I had a chance to talk with Ramos Lynn earlier in the season, and I was telling him, that if they could figure out a way to get all of the aspects of their offense, they have the tools. They just needed to figure out a way to utilize them all, and I think we're seeing the maturity of that through the season.
T-back set. Wilson tosses it near side. K.L. Barrett has another catch. Stood up by Maverick Hughes and Evan Carroll. I don't think we've actually gotten to introduce you to the Florida defense, so let's run through them really quickly. You've gotten to hear from just about everybody, but they deserve their time in the spotlight. The defensive line, Deontay Stoneville, Alessandro Tomaello, and Alex Dominguez, the league's all-time sack leader. Maverick Hughes and Eric Hammer are the linebackers, 5 stars in the secondary, the most veteran secondary in the SFL. From the I formation, Jones is the tailback. Ray Bentley is the fullback. The Hall of Famer leads the way for Phoenix Jones, who gets the carry, breaks through the first wave, picks up 4 on the ground, and another first down for Mexico City. Hughes on the stop. The secondary for the Storm, Evan Carroll and Ryan Davidson and Adam Jones are the corners. Ryan Tobin and Andrew Francis are the safeties. The 4 figureheads defensively in the backfield for Florida, Carroll, Tobin, Francis, and Davidson, have all been in the league for 7 or more years. They have spent their entire career with Florida. That kind of longevity is just unmatched. Deep drop back for Wilson. He will test that secondary, has a man wide open, past the secondary, all the way down to the 31 goes Mike Daggs. Wilson to Daggs once again.
And Mike Daggs, kind of the anomaly here in this league. There are not a lot of tight ends that are considered to be deep threats. He is one of them here. Again, another post route right down the middle of the field. Runs over a referee. Mike, what are you doing out there? Runs into a ref, makes the ref fall down, but keeps his concentration despite the old stripes there in coverage, and able to bring that one down. But, with the frame that he has, just at 6'7", to be able to run as quickly as he does and to be a deep threat, that's just so unique.
26 yards through the air. Phil Cause, who knows a thing or two about tight end catches, is telling us. From the 31, over the middle, Wilson bullets it, caught again by K.L. Barrett. A gain of 8. His 8th catch, you see him now officially over 100 yards, but Wilson really spreading the love. 8 catches for Barrett, 6 for Bartley, 4 for Highwind, 3 for Mike Daggs, 1 for Nick Daggs, and a couple for Phoenix Jones as well. So Matt Wilson spreading the wealth a lot more than he did over the first 4 weeks of the season. The give on the up to the up back, Ray Bentley up the middle. Another first down for Mexico City. Eric Hammer on the stop. We mentioned this, Steven. The Mexico City's 3rd down conversion rate has not really been all that good this season, just middle of the pack, but they haven't needed 3rd downs because they picked things up on 1st and 2nd down. Their ability to move the ball has been impressive. Done with 3 from the eye. The home team on top by 4. 1 quarter to play. You're watching the Simulation Football League on For the Fans. 11th all-time meeting between Florida and Mexico City has been one for the record books. Mexico City trailing by 4 as we start the fourth. From inside the red zone, the Hall of Fame quarterback Matt Wilson floats it over the middle. Jason Bartley has another catch, and once again, Wilson to Bartley over the middle for a gain of 9, 10, or 11. This play has worked every single time that they have run it. Ryan Tobin makes the stop.
Well, let's be honest here. With only 4 incompletions by Matt Wilson, most of the plays have worked tonight when it comes to the passing game.
And that play has worked every time. That play does not work. Phoenix Jones cannot run behind Ray Bentley. The Florida defensive line was ready for that one. A loss of 1. Ryan Davidson, the corner, makes the stop, his first TFL of the season.
Yeah, Davidson's flashed a couple times here in this game, but basically Phoenix Jones had nowhere to go. The defensive line did a great job of crowding the middle of that offensive line just past the line of scrimmage. Phoenix Jones had to run off to the right, got nailed.
Davidson, the star of the show last week when Florida beat Los Angeles. On the ground they go. Jones up the middle, picks up the first down and a whole lot more. 1st and goal coming up. Jones off of a career game where he had over 200 all-purpose yards and 4 touchdowns. Not quite that dynamic today, Stephen Mullinax, but he has been extremely effective with the Hall of Fame fullback Ray Bentley helping to pave the way.
Yeah, they've had a terrific 1-2 punch there, and Jones so excited there. Saw the opening so quickly. He actually outran Bentley, who was his blocker, to get that first down.
8 touchdowns on the season for Phoenix Jones. Instead, they will go up the middle to Ray Bentley, and he is hauled down just short of the goal line. I think that was Dominguez on the stop. Bentley does not have a rushing touchdown this season, and Jones has 8, which leads all players in the SFL through 4 games. Tried to give it to Bentley that time, and the standout defensive lineman says no.
Yeah, and we've seen a goal line stand here by this Florida Storm defense. Let's see if they can do it again.
And they do it again. 2nd down from the goal line. Offset eye. Again, they give to Ray Bentley up the middle. Ray Bentley is into the end zone once again. His first rushing touchdown of the season. The Hall of Famer returning to run the ball for the Aztecs, and the visitors take the lead in the 4th.
Well, the Altered Beast running like a man possessed here, and just a nice job of play design where they send Phoenix Jones out. Looks like it might be a little bit of toss play by Wilson, but he kind of does a really nice fake and just hands it into the breadbasket of Bentley, who runs it into the end zone with that classic power that he's had his entire career.
And these two players rather have switched roles 2 seasons ago. Ray Bentley was the standout tailback, helped ticket him to a Hall of Fame career as Cole Varner hits another PAT. Phoenix Jones was their fullback. Last year, Bentley stepped away, allowing Phoenix Jones to take over the starting running back spot. Now Bentley is back to provide that guidance, and he is rewarded for his return to the team. 12 plays, 80 yards, capped off by that 1-yard touchdown run from Ray Bentley. This Mexico City offense has been dynamic. Again, Matt Wilson threw an interception on their first possession. Since then, they have been lethal. Florida will now get the ball trailing for the 2nd time in this game. No return coming up for Jeff Como. Sector 6 is the official apparel provider of the Simulation Football League. Visit sector6apparel.com or our website at simulationfl.net for replica team jerseys and completely customized jackets, flags, t-shirts, and more that help each team stand out from their opponents. Get the gear the fans wear with Sector 6 and the SFL. Happy to have you with us on this Sunday night from South Florida. Tim Hackett and Stephen Mullinax in the booth. Phil Koss and Delaney Nash in the stat truck. Cameron Irvine working hard behind the scenes. We're underway here in the 4th. Cochran feeling the heat in South Florida. Tosses it out to the right side of the formation. Stephen Bush has yet another catch. Give him 6 on the game. Napier on the stop and a pickup of 8.
Well, Cochran hangs tough in the pocket right there, although pressure is falling down on top of him. Holds it just long enough so his receiver can get open and takes the hit. But that's the kind of guy that you've got in there. We call him the Iceman here. He's got ice water in those veins, and he'll stay in that pocket to the last possible second.
On the ground to Boletsky. You remember what he did the last time he got the ball, and this time he picks up 6 and a first down. Dexter Jackson on the stop. Florida coming into today with a 3-1 record, obviously very good. Wins over some of the best teams in the league, such as Jacksonville and Los Angeles. Carolina also a solid team this year. Florida beat all 3 of those teams in their last 3 attempts, but they lost big to Lone Star in week 1 in a rematch from the playoffs last year. As Cochran is taken down. Another sack for this Mexico City defense. That is number 42. Johnny Watson, the outside linebacker, the rookie, has his first career sack.
Yeah, and he's flashed a couple times in this game. Does a terrific job there of just getting on his high horse and getting to the quarterback as quickly as possible, making this a 2nd and 16.
Watson has shown some flashes this year for sure. The second round pick has been really good, joining this linebacker core that consisted of Horrell and Jackson last year. Second down, they will go on the ground to Boletsky, and he picks up 2. We've got another game break. Let's send it over to San Diego with Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green.
Thanks, Tim. Ray Lenurl III, Mike, has entered the party.
Yes, Cam, Portland was looking to run away with this game, but San Diego clawing their way back into it. Ray Lenurl III with a big interception right here. San Diego's on the drive.
They'll have to settle for 3, but the Mavericks, no quit in them yet. Back to Tim and Steven in Mexico. In Florida, rather.
Mike and Cam, thanks so much. After that failed PAT earlier, it's now a 7-point game again. Here on third down, Cochran's pass was swatted away by Jack Napier. Great one-on-one coverage. We talked about this at the half, and Cam and Mike talked about it on the halftime show, Steven. The corners, the coverage game overall for Mexico City has been lacking in this game. A testament to how good the quarterbacks have played, yes, but that time Napier one-on-one coverage against Jeff Como, who already has 2 touchdowns, and the Joker wins the battle.
Yeah, and he's actually played pretty well over there, and despite the score, what the scoreboard will tell you, the Joker's been holding it down on his side of the field. But and on that particular play, just a corner route, and Napier actually makes a great athletic play to go 360 to knock that ball away.
Marcus Agrippa will come on and punt once again, at a punt of better than 50 yards last time. This time, not so much, and Jason Bartley has a solid return out to the 31. Just a 49-yard punt, a paltry kick this time for Marcus Agrippa, thanks to Phil Cause and Delaney Nash for all their help on the stats so far. But to my point earlier about Florida, Stephen, they're 3-1 with 3 wins against good or great teams in their last 3 attempts, but they've actually been outscored over their first 4 games by 2 points because of that lopsided loss to Lone Star in week 1. So despite their 3-1 record, they have given up more points than they have scored, and that's going to help them get back to the good. Another sack for Deontay Stoneville, a solo one this time, and Matt Wilson hits the turf again.
Well, as you mentioned before in this game, the sacks have been few and far between for Alaska, but these guys are starting to break through. And anybody who's watched SFL games for any length of time knows there are times where the defensive lines in this league can absolutely take over a series. This appears maybe to be one.
3 sacks total for Florida over their first 4 games. 3 sacks here tonight. Wilson under pressure again. Hit by Dominguez, shakes out of it, and he's taken down again. Back-to-back sacks for the Storm, who did not have any in their first 3 weeks of the season. That time, it is number 98, Alessandro Tomaello, Il Veneziano with a sack.
Yeah, and we're seeing this defensive line, as I mentioned, taking over this series, 3rd and 23.
It's the worst position for Mexico City all game. They get to him again. 3 straight sacks for Florida. It bears repeating. Only 3 sacks all season. They take down Matt Wilson on 3 straight plays. Deontay Stoneville with another one.
It's almost as if we saw in 3 plays this offensive line lose absolute confidence and allowed all that penetration back to back to back. And what does that do now to the mentality of Matt Wilson? I'm going to tell you probably absolutely nothing. This guy has been a stone cold killer in this league for a long time, and he's not going to let that trip him up.
And with the great presence of Alex Dominguez in the middle, that allows these young defensive ends to run amok. 5:37 left in the 4th. Mexico City by 3. Ron Cochran with the ball when we come back. This is the SFL on FTF. 5.5 left to play in regulation time from the I in Fort Lauderdale, the 11th all-time meeting between two franchises that have combined for 4 SFL championships. The all-time series is tied at 5 apiece. Who will take the edge? Cochran with the ball down by 3. J.W. Doyle leaves a man in his wake, picks up a first down through the air. Another great catch through the air for the fullback, J.W. Doyle, a 6th-year man from Gainesville.
And just what a terrific luxury it is here for the Storm to have a fullback that's such a great receiver. I mean, this guy could literally line up in the slot if you needed him to, but he's made reception after reception. And not only that, but when he brings the ball into him, then he turns into a fullback. He turns into a running back and able to plow through that first tackle for the first down.
He had 7 catches in his team's first 4 games, but he has 4 tonight for 46 yards unofficially. Florida out across midfield, trailing by 3. The southpaw, Ron Cochran, tosses it to the top of the screen. Wide open is Doyle, and another big gain for J.W. Doyle to give him 15 through the air that time. Jackson makes the play. KT Horrell in on the stop as well.
What they're doing, Tim, is they have a formation that you traditionally want to run out of, and then they're spreading out everybody from that formation to just opening up so many open, wide receivers. And you know, for Cochran, who is so accurate, both of these quarterbacks been so accurate in this game, easily finds his fullback once again for yet another first down conversion.
Both good quarterbacks, over 80% completion in this game. Unbelievable. Cochran will check it down again. This time it's to Charlie Boletsky. He spins around, picks up 3. Jack Napier on the stop. And you mentioned it earlier, Stephen. Boletsky, one of the most used running backs in terms of catching the ball, even though he does not run the ball all that much relative to his running back counterparts. Only 18 carries per game, but averages about 20 or so total touches because he catches the ball so often during the, or excuse me, 25 total touches per game because he catches the ball so much. Deep drop back for Cochran over the middle. It's caught once again, well short of the sticks. Good one-on-one tackle by Ronnie Watson as E.J. Minson makes his 3rd catch of the game.
And here's a symptom of having a veteran team and a veteran guy under center. There's no panic. You know, it's the 4th quarter. You've got just over 4 minutes left. You're down 3, but you don't feel like the Storm are pressing. It's just going through the routine, going through what's been successful for them.
Cochran is putting together one of the best games of his season. From the 19, top of the screen, caught again for another first down by Stephen Bush. He picks up 6, and Ron Cochran entered today 2nd in the league in completions and in completion percentage, like we said. He's back at it again once again, but his quarterback rating was 8th in the league, but his yards per attempt rating at just about 6.3 was 6th worst. In this game, he's at about 8.4, which is loads better than his season average, so he is elevating his game against this great competition that he has faced so many times in his career. Up the middle, they'll go to J.W. Doyle, his first carry of the game, and he's got nowhere to go. Mexico City was ready for that one. KT Horrell was there, and so was John Von Unworth, one of the other defensive tackles.
Yeah, you know, and this game, it's this rivalry. These two teams, they're played different against each other. There's an intensity there and an efficiency that we've seen in this game that we haven't seen in prior games.
3 minutes left, 3-point game. 2nd down. Cochran has all day. Risky throw right to KT Horrell again. All she can do is swat it away. That could have been a pick.
Yeah, but KT Horrell is in perfect position to make a play, able to knock that one down. You know, and that's as an inside linebacker in coverage. That's just a terrific job by her. Already came into this game with 3 pass defense. And I you know, she's already racked up at least a couple that I remember, able to put herself in perfect position.
Both quarterbacks have attempted 31 passes in this game. Both quarterbacks have completed better than 80% of their passes. 3rd and down. Cochran under pressure, floats it to the end zone, swatted away again. The matriarch, KT Horrell, makes another play. Cochran was looking for E.J. Minson, who already has a touchdown, and KT Horrell, the 2nd-year player from Winston-Salem, says no.
Wow, I mean, she continues to keep playing like this. Maybe need to shift her to safety or cornerback. The coverage skills have been outstanding on this series.
Showing David Horrell a thing or two about how to play middle linebacker to founding parents of the Horrell family and friends of the program here in the SFL. Ethan Snead on for a field goal. It will be from about 30 yards. 3-point deficit, and the lefty from Newport News knocks it through from 29, and with 2:55 left in regulation, we are all tied up once again.
Well, Snead hasn't missed a field goal yet, 8 of 8 coming into this game, and There goes another one there for Snead, the third-year vet who's as efficient as it comes.
One career missed kick. He's now 54 of 55. He has been excellent to start his SFL career. They say special teams can help you win or lose football games, Stephen, and Mighty Max Paul is clearly taken that to heart because he's got a super reliable kicker and, of course, Marcus Agrippa as a punter, and that is just a luxury for his team to rely upon. These two teams 3-1, both riding 3-game win streaks. Denver and St. Louis are both 5-0 through 5 weeks, so they are atop the SFL standings regardless of what happens here tonight. But the winner will stay in a tie for third place with a couple of other teams at 4-1. The loser will fall a step behind. Next week marks the halfway point of the season. Both of these teams would be in the playoffs if they started today, but the winner will get a leg up as we get ready to make the turn into the second half of the season. All tied up. Matt Wilson with the ball and a 31-all game, and he throws a pick. His second giveaway of the game, his first since their first possession. What a time for Ryan Davidson, who made the play of the game for Florida in their win last week. He's got a big time interception here today.
Yeah, and the third on the season, and I'm not exactly sure what the Aztecs were thinking. They come out kind of tied ball game late in the ball game here with less than 3 minutes left, and they come out without either one of their backs. Come out with just the just spread out in 4 wide with the quarterback under center. So clearly a passing play, clearly something that the Florida Storm were able to anticipate defensively.
He sealed their win over Los Angeles last week with his 4th career pick 6. He's got a big-time interception here. Florida with the ball inside the 30 already. They're already in field goal range. Cochran will check it down to Bullet Boletsky. He picks up 3. And so to your point, Stephen, that giveaway gives Florida prime real estate. We just talked about it. Ethan Snead has missed 1 field goal in his SFL life. You don't expect him to miss from this close, and they're already well within his range. 2nd and 7 from the 25. Florida now, 2 wide receivers, 2 backs, and a tight end. That's Vard and Zarkov. Mexico City puts 4 men on the line and adds 4 into the box. Cochran taking his time. They will have to snap it, and they do. The give to Boletsky, and he's blown out. Mexico City was ready for that one. Brock Lee on the stop. Couple of other Aztecs were there as well. Action Jackson makes the play. 2 minutes left in regulation. Mexico City 31, Florida 31. This is the SFL on FTF. The all-time series between Mexico City and Florida is tied at 5 wins apiece. Matchup number 11 is tied at 31 apiece. 2 minutes and counting from the eye in Fort Lauderdale. The Storm with the ball inside the 30. Ron Cochran under center. Charlie Boletsky is the tailback. 4 wides in a tie ball game. Cochran will throw on 3rd and 10. Has a man. It's caught. Cochran delivers another strike, and E.J. Minson hauls in his 5th pass of the game. 1st and goal coming up.
That might be the gutsiest play call in this game. You've already in field goal range. You've got such a reliable kicker. You can get the go-ahead score, but what do you do on 3rd and long? You pass it down deep in the middle so you can start absorbing some of these timeouts from Mexico City, because you know the Aztecs offense can go ... down the field quickly. So absorbing some of these timeouts. I'd run the ball here, Tim.
21-yard link up for Minson ahead of the safety, Greg Gaines, and around the other safety, Jeffrey Daggs. Florida will run it. Charlie Boletsky, spin move, picks up 3. Stopped there by Jeffrey Daggs, who has been quiet today. One of the best safeties in the league. Has not had an answer for this Florida passing attack, but he makes a good stop there. Mexico City uses its 2nd timeout. 1:52 left in regulation.
You know, if you're the Storm, you're in great position here. You don't want to turn the ball over. Can't afford to do that. Let's run the ball. Let's use these timeouts for the Aztecs. If you get in the end zone, then you're up by a score, and Mexico has to go all the way down the field.
2nd and goal from the floor, from the I formation. Cochran will throw it, has time, floats it back of the end zone. It's caught! Touchdown! Varadin Sarkov, his 1st touchdown of the season, and with less than 2 minutes left, Florida takes the lead.
Well, that's why they're the 3-time champion. You know, they're going to take some chances there that normally you wouldn't do. You wouldn't think conventional wisdom would tell you to go for this, and they do. And not only was he wide open there in the back of the end zone, makes a nice athletic play, but he had Doyle out there in the flats, or Boletsky, I'm sorry, one of the two. They were just wide open. So really just a perfect play call with several options for Cochran. He takes probably the harder option there. But the way these guys have been throwing tonight, you know, I'm not surprised that they did go through the air.
What a play by Cochran. He has made it look easy. Sneed with the PAT. Mike Hatz on the hold. Florida leads by 7. The flip side of that, though, Stephen, is because they pass it and Mexico City stopped the clock on 2nd down, they preserve their 1 timeout. So now Matt Wilson will get the ball with about 1:45 at the least to work with and 1 timeout still to use.
Yeah, and then Matt Wilson, you know that he's led plenty of these last-minute drives. I mean, this is a guy that is just the definition of clear eyes, full heart, can't lose mentality on the field late in the game.
Thought we left the state of Texas behind. Matt Wilson with another opportunity to lead a last-minute comeback. 2-minute drill in effect. The Aztecs will start with the ball from the 22. 1:45 left on the clock. 1 timeout for Matt Wilson and the veteran head coach Ramos Lynn. Varadin Zarkov did not have a touchdown this season. He did not have a catch of any kind last week, in only 11 in the team's first 4 games. He comes up with the go-ahead touchdown. Do the Aztecs have another response like they were able to cook up time and again in the first half? Wilson, under pressure, steps up, lofts it into traffic, tipped and picked off by Evan Carroll. Carroll back the other way, and he'll take it inside the 15. 3rd interception from Matt Wilson, and the all-time great corner, Evan Carroll, has his 4th pick of the year.
Well, we talked about the defensive line play. We've seen them take over a series in this game, and in this particular play here, they put pressure on Matt Wilson. He got uncomfortable in the pocket, threw it on the run, and we see the inaccuracy there caused the interception and all but seal this game.
And with all of the great offense that we have seen in this game, it might be a defensive play like that wins it for Florida. Mexico City only has 1 timeout. Ron Cochran will come on and take a knee. The Aztecs will immediately use their last timeout. Some pushing and shoving there after the play. Evan Carroll, the 9th-year veteran from right here in Fort Lauderdale, top 10 all-time in pass deflections and interceptions. He also has 4 career touchdowns. Ryan Davidson joined him with that, with his 4th career score last week. He has been an amazing player for this Florida defense. We saw him get burned by KL Barrett in the first half, but he responded in a huge way. That pick might seal it. Coming up, we've got the SFL post-game report. We'll send you to bonus coverage of Portland and San Diego live from California. Also, Cam and Mike St. Green will wrap up tonight's action and give you their final impressions of Week 5. That's all coming up on the SFL post-game reports. Of Portland and San Diego, one of the newest rivalries perhaps out here on the West Coast. Two division rivals, Portland in its second year in the league, San Diego in its first, just starting the fourth quarter with Portland on top. We'll take you to that one in a few minutes. Ron Cochran will take another knee. There will still be some time, but this one looks like it's all but over.
Yeah, and then you've got such a reliable kicker here. Then they're going to kick this to go ahead and make it a two-score game, so that'll put it out of reach here for Mexico City, barring the greatest miracle in league history. But look, who would have guessed this game as offensive? The fireworks that we saw from both of these offenses, that it would end there on an interception. It just seemed destined that Mexico City would go down the field to tie this ball game up the way that it's all played out.
Ethan Snead has made his first 9 field goals this season. He has only missed 1 in his career, and he stays perfect here in season 16. That's going to seal it for the Storm. They lead by 10. Second kick today from Ethan Snead. It's now 41-31. And like you said, Stephen, all of these fireworks, all of this bombastic offense from both sides, fantastic quarterback play through 3 quarters. It all comes down to one great defensive play. One of the backups, Ramel Hernandez, came out and knocked the ball away. Florida came out with 6 defensive backs. He tipped it out of the air into the hands of Evan Carroll. Florida makes the play when they needed to. They now lead by 10. Snead will kick it away. Jason Bartley is going to need a miracle return to try to kickstart any sort of miracle comeback for the Aztecs. He'll go right up the middle and get out to the 22, which is where that last drive started. This game has been epic, Stephen, one of the games of the year here in the SFL, and Evan Carroll is going to walk away as the ultimate hero.
And I really think it comes down to minor mistakes having a big impact. Matt Wilson, only 5 incompletions, 27 of 33, but 3 of those incompletions, interceptions. Exactly. Whereas on the other end, Ron Cochran, no interceptions, 4 touchdowns, completing 28 of his 35 passes. Both efficient, both over 80 as we have a fumble here.
Wow, another giveaway for Mexico City. The catch was made by Nicholas Daggs. It would be just his 4th of the season. And then Ryan Tobin falls on the fumble if this play stands. Another giveaway for the Aztecs, their 4th of the game.
Excuse me, Tim. Yeah, and I just think I don't think he had the ball long enough. Not that it matters here, but that's going to be a challenge from the booth.
It's a booth review, of course, because we're under 2 minutes. I've seen this play happen once about every other week here in the SFL, Stephen. The catch and then immediate fumble on the hit. Ryan Davidson, you'll see him come out of the right side and absolutely pop Nicholas Daggs, and then Ryan Tobin falls on the fumble. Andrew Francis actually had a shot at it. So what's your take?
Well, I think it's going to be an incomplete pass here, and it is. And, I like the call actually by the refs. Go ahead and call it as a fumble on the field and then get it right in the booth. At least it didn't cost a challenge from one of the teams in order to do that here under 2 minutes.
Of course, you're exactly right. And Nicholas Daggs will not have his 4th catch of the season. Had only one last week, had only one today, and that one will go as an incomplete pass. Possibly the last play of the game. 9 seconds left in regulation. Mexico City now trailing by 10. Jones is the lone tailback. Wilson will throw it. Streaking down the left seam, batted away once again. Was that Evan Carroll? Actually, it was Adam Jones who made the first big defensive play. Had the pick on Matt Wilson's first drive, and he has a pass deflection here.
And Jones actually peels off the guy that he's covering there that's going on the short out to go back and get that ball. So just nice awareness there of where the ball is being thrown. Excuse me. Actually, he was in perfect coverage there. I was looking at the other cornerback.
Evan Carroll was the other cornerback, ended up taking Jason Bartley down. So Mexico City's 3-game win streak is going to come to an end. Their 2-game win streak in this all-time franchise head-to-head series is going to come to an end. This is only the 2nd time that these teams have matched up in their current iterations, and Florida is going to win for the first time. Once again, Matt Wilson links up with Jason Bartley. That play works again, but the Florida defense rallies when it matters most. Evan Carroll with the game-sealing interception. The Florida Storm win this battle of two of the league's best. The Storm win it 41-31.
And a story of turnovers, really. It's just that slimmer difference. I mean, Mexico City wins time of possession, nearly 5 more minutes to Alaska, but when they made mistakes, the mistakes were big, and that was the difference. The 3 interceptions thrown by Wilson. Other than that, these quarterbacks over 80% completion percentage, terrific all game long. And these running games, these running backs, Belitsky, Phoenix Jones, Ray Bentley, these guys ran all over the field tonight, as we see there in the highlight there, the biggest one there for the rookie. But they had success both through the air and on the ground. These defenses struggled to figure things out until the Storm made a big play to really turn the tide of this game. And that early interception there by the Storm didn't faze Mexico City hardly at all. And we saw them really go after this team. Actually, these offenses really went after these defenses. And boy, did we get a terrific game because of it.
Two quarterbacks combined for 7 touchdown passes. They both complete better than 75% of their passes. It was a quarterback clinic through 3 quarters, but like you said, Stephen, down the stretch, those 2 big plays, Ryan Davidson with an interception to give Florida the ball with a chance to take the lead, and then Evan Carroll with another interception to seal the win for the Storm. Their defense comes up big when it matters most, and on the offensive side, Ron Cochran with a vintage performance. We mentioned the interceptions have haunted him. They've cost him at times in his excellent SFL career. Not today. 4 touchdowns, no picks.
Yeah, both of these quarterbacks have struggled with interceptions this season, but this game was like an anomaly, like it was in the multiverse. Tim, this is a game that they were able to section out, and these two offenses performed like they never have before here in this season. I think it's that rivalry.
Now it's time for our SFL player of the game, and what do you know? Ron Cochran with a quarterback rating of nearly 140, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Stephen Molinax, your final thoughts.
Well, yeah, what a game, what a terrific game. If you loved offense, you love this matchup, and these two teams, 2 classic teams here in the SFL that have been around a long time, gave us a terrific show in prime time.
Florida wins it, and they take the lead in the all-time series. We'll send you down to San Diego, bonus coverage with Jack Brown and Wade Phillips. We'll see you next time. So long.
Those disguised, routes to clear them out, drop it in there, reach out for that first down.
Short drop from Javier Vasquez. Vasquez avoids a sack, but he's not going to avoid the second one. 2nd and 18. Bernard Patterson getting in on the sack party.
Yeah, Bernard Patterson got the cleanup. Derwin Nuevo got the initial hit that kind of stopped him, but then Patterson just cleaned him up, and with his just near the top in sacks this year.
Second and 18 now. Deep drop, throws over the middle. That one's going to be tipped down and complete. We'd like to welcome everyone in for the fans on Twitch who had just finished up watching that epic matchup between Florida and Mexico City, where Florida was able to barely win 41-31, the final score there. Here in San Diego, it's been the Portland Fleet show throughout the second half. San Diego kept it close through the first 2 quarters, but now they're struggling, down 23-9 with 5 minutes remaining in the fourth. 3rd and 18 now. Deep drop from Javier Vasquez, has to make it work on this play. Throws a dime right in the middle, but it's not going to get the first down. If that was on, like, say, 3rd and 11, 3rd and 9 or so, that would have definitely been a first down. Just a little bit too little too late.
Yep, just a little bit too little too late. Great play call and execution. It just couldn't quite get it past that first down yard line.
And they're going to go for it on 4th down. Hey, either go big or go home. Short throw. Caught. San Diego keeps the drive alive in one of the riskiest play calls I've ever seen. Same formation there in the hurry up now. Short drop from Javier Vasquez. Throws. Caught. Threads the seam again up to the 47. San Diego looked like they were back against the wall, but now they are driving. Deep drop from Javier. Throws to the sideline. Caught. 2nd and 5. Now they get to cool off a little bit. And dang! I thought they were dead in the water on the drive. But look at that. They've sprung to life.
Yeah, they found their spark really on this drive. I mean, really, it's the no huddles. I mean, done them wonders. And, you know, they went for a little bravado and went for it on 4th and got it.
Short drop, nearly intercepted, but the fact that he got the defender to bike gave him the first down. Hurry up offense once again. In San Diego, they seem to figure out what works for them on offense right now, and it's just to gas Portland. Deep drop from Vasquez. Doesn't have a lot of time to throw and makes a poor decision. Ball was deflected by Mel Davis.
And that's Mel Davis's forte, those pass deflections. I mean, he's coming into this game was 3rd in the SFL in pass deflections, and now he's just shown why he is just one of the league best.
Shotgun flip back is what they're going to roll out in. Throws it over to Jalen Wells, and that was not going to work. That was actually to Nick Hoagland, the fullback. And it's now going to bring up 3rd and 12.
And that was just a miscue right there, getting him out for nothing. But, I mean, they got out of bounds, but, you know, it did nothing for them yardage-wise.
Third and 12. Most of the game riding on these next 2 plays. Deep over the middle. The Portland defender, Sean Allen, puts a hand up there and is like, nuh-uh, not today. You're not throwing that ball in this house.
Nope. He shut it down. And Sean Allen's been doing that this game. He's really been playing a ball hawking safety today and really has been everywhere.
Deep drop on 4th and 12, goes for the same play as last time. That's not going to work. Portland takes over on downs. And San Diego, that almost has to be, you know, the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah, for sure. That seems like that might be what does it in this, you know, kind of in this threat from San Diego. And now that Portland takes over, I would assume that they would try to run this ball game out.
Yeah, just end the game, really not worry about much else. But let's see what they can do. Hand off to Ezekiel Love. Ezekiel Love's got the blocks. He's out in the open field. Can he shed the man? No, he won't. Down to the 33-yard line of San Diego. And Portland has already sprung into scoring position.
And that was some great blocking by Portland to spring him right there. He had some daylight ahead of him and made the first man miss, but then couldn't quite shake that final tackler. But that was a great little scat to the left that Ezekiel Love had.
Ball's on the 33-yard line. I form, 1 wide to the bottom. Short drop, throws it on the flat to Ezekiel Love, and Ezekiel Love is not going to get much going. Gets 4 yards up to San Diego's 29-yard line.
You know, they picked up positive yards, stayed in bounds, keep that clock running. Well executed by Portland on that play, and now they're just kind of going to keep trying to grind this win out, the victory, and they're well on their way.
Second and 6, the heavy set behind them. This will be the final snap for the 2-minute warning as they're going to take it up the field a few yards. And that's going to bring us to 2 minutes left in this ball game. Here in San Diego, Portland firmly in control of the game. Let's see what San Diego can do don't forget, coming up next week, week 6 on FDF, London is going to head over to undefeated St. Louis, take them on at 6 p.m. Meanwhile, Atlanta heads up to take on Carolina at 8:10 p.m. on Saturday, February 28th, folks. Those are two games that I personally cannot wait to see. 3rd and 5, short drop, throws is over, and it is not going to work. San Diego calls the first of their 3 timeouts. Correction, folks, the games that were advertised are listed for next Sunday on February 28th here on For the Fans. But now it's 4th down and 1, and if you're Portland, really, just send out the kicker and ice the game here. That's exactly what they're going to do, David John.
Now is his chance to try to ice this game for him and leave San Diego with no time really to do anything significant.
Kick is up, and it's going to be through for 3. Portland up 26-9 off the leg of David John. Really, Wade, Portland really has never been known for having like that great of an offense, but honestly, I gotta say, this is one of the best offensive performances I've ever seen from the Fleet tonight.
Yeah, no, they really flipped a switch tonight and really worked some kinks out of their game and really can use this to build for the rest of the season to try to kind of make a point that they're no pushovers and can actually hurt you on offense.
Yeah, definitely. Like they've already shown that their defense can be a lethal unit, and well, as the scoreboard shows, they haven't let San Diego into the end zone yet. Although they may be swapping out for the backups now, so that may change. That's Javier Vasquez. Now, let's see what San Diego can do now that they're kind of in have fun mode. Short drop. Throws down, caught, gonna get the first down and a few yards on top of that. Past the 50, past the 40. It's a running race down to the 30, and San Diego calls the timeout.
You gotta get out of bounds. I know you're trying to get yards, but just get that last couple yards and get out of bounds. Save your timeouts. Oh, but great passing catch. And now they're within striking distance of putting up a touchdown in this game and not getting shut out from just kicking field goals.
That's the sort of pride that you got to be. Yeah, First and 10 now. Ball's on the 30. San Diego. Quick drop from Javier. Tipped at the line. That one's going to go down.
And that looked like 96 Derwin Nuevo got his big mitts on that ball, and he's really been playing fantastic football tonight. I think he's, got 3 or so sacks, and really has just been, we've been calling his name all night long.
Quick drop once again, and tries to aim it for the hands of number 13 there for San Diego, but just not able to get the connection. That one's going to fall down to the floor, incomplete, 3rd and 10.
Unfortunately, he had his chance to catch the ball, but misplaced the ball, and now this coach might be like, yeah, you might get back on that bench there, bud.
Yeah. Tom Welsh probably is now looking at him and just shaking his head. 3rd down and 10. Split backs. Free play, it's looking like, or it may not be, as the flag was thrown right at about the same time as Javier threw the pass. Let's see what it is from R62. Oh, it's going to be holding. Oh, defensive holding, no. Oh, no, it's going to be a offensive holding, and that's just devastating, really.
That is, I mean, that they had chance to kind of make something happen, but now it sets them back, you know, and now they're really shooting themselves in the foot.
So it's 4th and 4. Everything comes down to this. Yes, he got the first
declining
down.
it, and they get the first down.
He rolled over to get that one. Ryan Owens showing he can do what he does best. Javier Vasquez threads it right over the middle. 2nd down and 1. I think the catch is made there by Optimus Klein, the team owner of the Mavericks. Minute 05 remaining. Let's see if they can at least put some points up on the board. That'd be nice. Deep drop, thrown over the middle, and it's going to be a 1st and goal. And if they actually score a touchdown here, if I'm not mistaken, it will take us to the over here in the over-under. Thrown to the back of the end zone, tipped, and it's going to be incomplete. 2nd and goal. Clock freezes at 40 seconds.
And this is just San Diego's trying everything to get it into this end zone, but they've got, you know, a few more tries, try to get it in.
Short drop, throws it over to Jalen Wells. He threw it right over his head. Got it off a little bit too quickly. Jalen Wells was clearly not in his rhythm and just throws it right over his head. 3rd down and goal.
Yeah, just might have threw it at him just a little bit before he was ready for it and just caught him off guard, and that just goes incomplete.
3rd and goal. Ball's on Portland's 3-yard line. Portland playing up against the line here. Short drop. Throws it. Caught. Touchdown. San Diego Mavericks.
And there they go, their first touchdown of the day, and that's what they wanted to see. I mean, they may not get the win, but they at least get to say we scored a touchdown and we didn't get blanked. That's a silver lining, and they can look at it and say what we do good on this drive and use it to continue to excel in that specific way.
And pending the extra point, those of you who took the over for tonight's game, 41.5 points, are going to be happy, as this game is looking to get to a 42 even. Kick is up, and it is through. 26-16. And again, as I just said, those of you who took the over, I mean, they better be feeling pretty dang happy right now.
Indeed. There's a toss-up, but hey, they get it. They cover.
So now San Diego out to attempt the onside. Kicks away, and that one's going to be right into the hands of Portland. No, but the ball's still alive. Still bouncing around. But the Fleet come up with it. So it's going to... Hold on.
30 seconds to go in that ball game. Portland's going to win it 26-16. We'll be back for post-game recap after this. You're watching the SFL on FTF. $60. 30. All right, Mike, back to us in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Welcome to our post-game update here as the final score in San Diego, 26-16, along with Mike St. Green. I'm Cameron Irvine, and kind of a ho-hum way to end the day. But Portland gets to 2-3. They don't feel like it's too ho-hum at all.
Yeah, Portland, you can't complain about a win like that when, a team has been struggling offensively. Matt South, who I've been, kind of critical of up until this point, had a big game today, 3 touchdown passes, all to Gene Valentine, who also had a career day. Portland would definitely take that W.
The Atlantic Division is the best division in the SFL after Florida gets the win. They're 4-1. Charleston, Jacksonville, and Carolina are all 3-2. That is quite the battle. Charleston plays Jacksonville next week, but Florida gets the win. Probably, you could argue, a more important victory for Florida, although Mexico City is chasing Fort Worth, the division not as competitive.
Yeah, I mean, both divisions actually are great divisions. As you mentioned, Fort Worth 4-1. Mexico could have evened them up tonight with a win, but yeah, we will move over to the Atlantic. Florida taking the lead in this division. They've beaten Jacksonville earlier. They beat Carolina in this division also. So yeah, Florida head and shoulders right now. The best team in the Atlantic, even though it's a slight lead of only one game. But yeah, Florida had a great performance tonight.
That's it for us this week. Here's what's coming up in Week 6 of the SFL on national television. First on 11 Sports on Saturday, Lone Star takes on Mexico City. Charleston faces Jacksonville. Those are 2 divisional games in the 2 best divisions right now in the SFL. That's going to be a huge slate on Saturday. Then on Sunday, right back here on FTF, it's headlined by London and St. Louis. St. Louis undefeated, one of 2 teams. They're 5-0, taking on the rival London Knights, who are starting to slip. And then Atlanta and Carolina, 3-2 versus 2-3 there. The Skyhawks have a better record than the Swarm coming into the ball game. I don't think many would have taken that prediction through 5 weeks of SFL action. For Mike St. Green, I'm Cameron Irvine. Until next weekend, we'll see you then. Have a great night, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.